So there's probably, other producers, directors, and writers out there, possibly like yourself, who've traveled a lot. What makes your work unique?
My work is very unique because 70 to 80% of my projects have been shot through travel, and the vast majority of that has been overseas. I've shot in 108 countries of the world on 6 continents. Only one I'm missing is the South Pole. Um, every continent, Africa 30 times, South America 15 times, around the world 15 times. So when I started heading out to figure out what I wanted to do in a career, I thought, what makes me uniquely different than the next person? Because it's so easy to get pigeonholed as to what you do, or whatever. Somebody's a comedy director, somebody else is the action director. So I became the travel and spiritual experiences director and cameraman. And the more I traveled, the more groups, production companies, agencies, ministries, humanitarian groups would call me, email me, hire me to do international. So the more international I did, the more international I got.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh, when did you first decide that that would be your niche?
I first decided that travel was going to be my niche. As far as travel is concerned, I went on a Bible Lands trip when I was 16, where we hit Iraq and Egypt, Israel, Lebanon, and Syria, Rome, Greece, all of this. And it really whetted my appetite, so to speak, for travel. And then I worked as an assistant missionary at a Christian college in Belgium for a while in the late 1970s. I was just 22, 23 years old. And I thought, I really like overseas, locations and exotic and different cultures and such, and I wanted to do more of that. And I decided somewhere around the age of 25 or so, I want to travel the world and have somebody else pay for it. What can I do to travel around the world and have somebody else pay for it? And I was working in film and TV or video. I'm not really a film guy, although I've shot film. I'm a TV documentary kind of guy. And that works really good for travel. And it works great for humanitarian groups, orphanages, Christian ministries that have stories all over the world, and they need someone to go capture that story, bring it back, and put it together to raise awareness or inspiration or raise funds, get people involved. And so I headed towards that direction, and the more I did it, the more people called me to do it.
That's excellent.
I think
so
so.
Cool. Like I totally want to do
so.
more of that.
Can I give you a follow-up answer
Absolutely.
to that?
Yeah.
One of the difficult things about travel is that, especially if you have relationships, and in my case I'm married, you spend a tremendous amount of time away from home. So you have to have some type of trust and a relationship with, in my case, at times girlfriends, and then also with a wife. I've lost a marriage, previous marriage before. I was gone so much and put a strain on our relationship, and eventually that relationship fell apart. But I'm married to an absolutely gorgeous Latina woman these days who travels with me sometimes, and then she also sends me out there as long as it's not more than 2 weeks, and I'll travel. And she is the beneficiary of all my frequent flyer points. So every now and then she'll say, "How many points you got? Where could we go for Christmas?" That kind of thing. But you will spend time away from your from home, and you have to be prepared for that. And there's times it seems glamorous, but there's a lot of hotel rooms across the world that are not that glamorous, and you just want to come home. But it's worth the experience.
Wow. Yeah, it's good to hear you say that.
She'll fall in love with you. I'm telling you. She'll give you her phone number before you know it.
Aw. So cute.
She's loving it.
All right. So here's the question. What does it mean to make it in Hollywood? What does it mean to be successful?
To be successful in Hollywood, I think, is a bit of an illusion. If you're a filmmaker, documentaries or short films or motion pictures, in fact, the chance of you, anyone coming out of film school and becoming a major motion picture director, are like 1 in 1,000, because there's only 400 films that are released every year, and the chance to get into that club is very, very small. And if you haven't done something significant by age 30 or 35, you probably aren't going to make it. You may have to go to TV, which is absolutely a wonderful place to be as well these days, because with cable and all these different channels and Netflix and Showtime and HBO, you can actually have way more fun doing a Netflix series and make good money than trying to be the next director of James Bond. Who are they going to consider for James Bond? 2, maybe 3 people maximum. So the chance of you ever directing something like that is not going to happen. Let me return to your question a little bit more specific. If you come out of film school and your goal is to become famous and successful, I think that you are headed down the wrong pathway. The best thing to do is to basically say to yourself, how can I have a long, productive, satisfying career telling stories in film, TV, documentaries, even video, even web, wherever it might show up, mobile, and be really good at it? How can I get better at this and have a long career and see it more as a marathon than a sprint? Because in my case, next year's my 40th year. That's a marathon. And each decade was different than the other. And I wouldn't trade one decade for the other. So if you aim towards significance rather than success, then I think you're going to be much more successful, and it's going to be much more meaningful.